Chief Obiokoye emerges new Anambra State Chairman of ABGA. Wife of Anambra Governor, Mrs. Soludo, highlights role strategic education can play in promoting healthy living in women. JAMB to close 2023 direct entry registration on May 30th. From the Foreign Things, UN Chief Guterres calls for protection of civilians fleeing war. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the news. My name is Uchechukwu Ebonam. Barrister Ifeatu Obiokoye has been elected the Anambra State Chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, in line with the constitution of the party. He was elected and sworn in alongside other 29 members of the state executive at the Professor Dora Akunyili Women Development Center, Oka. Governor Chukwuma Soludo of Anambra State, his Deputy Governor Dr. Nyekachukwu Ibezim, stakeholders of the party, delegates of the State Congress, among others, witnessed the process. We have details.
Most of the winners, including the chairman, emerged through consensus arrangements as other aspirants stepped down for whom they believe will do better. The institutions where there was no agreement, the delegates decided the winner through open ballot, as it was in the case of the State Welfare Secretary, youth leader, among others. The party, in fairness and equity at state, local governments and ward levels, zoned and micro-zoned the positions to senatorial districts, local government areas and wards. The Ifeatu Obiokoye-led executive members succeeds Sanobat Obi's led administration. Speaking, Governor Soludo, who emphasized the need for the unity and progress of the party, encouraged the party faithful to put the party and the state first in their dealings. While assuring his commitment to the growth of ABGA as the national leader of the party, Governor Soludo congratulated the winners and charged them with greater dedication.
Indicate interest must have examined yourself. And with due respect, I have seen several of you, I know several of you, you are all very well qualified. You are all very well qualified. But only one person will occupy the office at this point in. Is that?
The Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Ernest Ezeajoye, in an interview affirmed that the process was democratic and transparent enough to usher in a new and more formidable ABGA State Executive. He encouraged them to consolidate on the achievements of the past administration and take the party to greater heights. The new chairman, Barrister Obiokoye, in his inaugural speech, commended Governor Soludo for his selfless input to the success of the Congress and promised to work with his team to make ABGA great. He called for the support of every stakeholder to enable them deliver effectively. Certificates of return were later presented to the new executive members by Governor Soludo.
Anambra Governor's wife, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, says improved and strategic education can play an important role in promoting healthy nutrition and overall health habits of women and children. Mrs. Soludo said this while addressing the media shortly after attending the just concluded Governor's Wives Summit in Abuja. The Governor's Wives had, during the opening day of the meeting, held discussions with key stakeholders on the avenues of improving funding for nutrition among women and girls in Nigeria. Responding to questions, Mrs. Soludo explained that nutrition and healthy living are very necessary to the general well-being of the female gender, stressing that inadequate nutrition affects not only the health of women, but that of the children. She noted that while ignorance about the seriousness of malnutrition and undernutrition raises greater concerns, it is a little effort to address age-long nutritional problems of women and adolescent girls that should be urgently tackled. The Anambra Governor's wife explained that education and better awareness have become very important to eliminating the threats of inadequate nutrition in women and also help them attain a healthy life, have healthy children and add to the socio-economic development of the society. Mrs. Soludo, who is a long-practicing nutritionist and healthy living advocate, maintained her call for families to go fully organic in food consumption and avoid food products with questionable production history. She also appealed to mothers to make smarter nutritional choices for themselves as well as their children by prioritizing food that are rich in vitamins, calories, protein and minerals, with available data revealing that adolescent girls are particularly vulnerable to malnutrition. The governor's wife explained that protein, iron and other micronutrients are very essential to support the adolescent growth and meet the body's increased demand for iron during menstruation. She said that her nutrition and healthy living campaigns have made appreciable results in changing living and health habits among women. Ad hoc workers of Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Anambra State have staged a peaceful protest over non-payment of stipends after the just concluded general elections. The ad hoc workers, who include collation officers, supervising presiding officers, SPOs, among others, staged a protest at the state headquarters of INEC in Oka. Queen and Morgofar report.
The group, who were visibly angry at the delay in payment of their dues after the election, besieged the INEC headquarters long before the resident electoral commissioner, Dr. Mrs. Queen Elizabeth Agu, arrived at her office for the day's work. In an interview, some of the ad hoc workers, Dr. Chidebel Obi and Lady Teresa Mbatogo, said most of them have not been paid for the election duty they carried out since March 2023. They wondered why no single person among them have not been able to authenticate INEC claim that they have been paid, asking INEC, which claimed that it has paid all the ad hoc workers. Who then have they paid?
To have paid, forgotten the quotation that you gave, 50,000 or thereabouts. But the question is, who can raise his or her hand to authenticate that claim that you have paid? Of all of us here, even those who are in the university who couldn't make it down here, nobody, no single person has been able to authenticate this claim that he or she has been paid. So who did you pay? So we left everything we are doing in the university to come down here to register our grievance that we have not been paid, and here we are again, you are telling us that we have been paid. So paid to who? Who did you pay?
Most of us has not been paid since that February up till now, and at the end we later submitted our statement of account as we were asked to do that around that February ending and beginning of March, which we did to the various local governments we are through the INEC officials.
Contributing, Dr. Ikechukwu Ekemezie, another ad hoc staff, explained that election duty is a national call which they answered, risked their lives to work during the election, and now they came to register their grievances over the failure of INEC to pay them, and called on relevant authorities to reach out to the electoral umpire to pay them for the duty they carried out. Speaking with the ABS, the REC, Anambra State INEC, Dr. Mrs. Agu reiterated that INEC has paid over 50,000 ad hoc staff who they employed for the election, and stressed that some of the ad hoc staff accounts were bouncing back because there were irregularities in the account details and phone numbers they supplied to the INEC. Dr. Agu, who revealed that INEC is carrying out mop-up exercise, admonished the aggrieved workers to visit their banks to verify the payment, and if otherwise, they should get their statement of account from their banks and visit INEC for clarifications.
You saw that the people who are here today, we have not been paid. They are not up to 30. And that is being the case. It's just a fallout. Because we have paid. You saw our list. 400 and something, 500 and something, local government is 600 and 700. We have been paying. We've completed payment last week. What we do now is what what we call an INEC family mop-up.
Queen Anibogo, ABS News.
Anambra State government has permanently sealed 3 hospitals in Alo, Idemili South local government area for quackery and employing unlicensed staff. The health facility monitoring and accreditation team of the Ministry of Health sealed the facilities. Chibuzo Obidike tells us more.
The facilities, Favor of God Hospital and Maternity, Brightland Hospital and Maternity, and Guardian Hospital and Maternity were operating either without license, forged license, unqualified staff, unhygienic environment. Addressing journalists, the head Medical Services Department, Anambra State Ministry of Health, Dr. Chukwulubelu Ugochukwu, said the hospitals were sanctioned for employing people not certified to medicine and revealed that the closure does not affect the inpatients already admitted, but advised them to visit Government General Hospital for proper medical care instead of risking their lives. Dr. Ugochukwu, while wondering why people jeopardize human lives because of monetary gains, said there will be continuous regulatory oversights of hospitals in the state and pointed out that they discovered some uncertified health workers who treat patients, perform medical procedures, and leave the country when complication arises. He called on community stakeholders, religious bodies, and individuals to show interest in all areas of activities in their localities, especially health, and report to the ministry any suspected facility or shops involved in quackery as a way of saving millions of lives and contributing to the health sector of the state.
We are ready to stamp quackery in this state. We are not going back. The Mr. Commissioner, is serious about it. Our governor, the solution governor, is very bitter about people doing this kind of a thing in the state. We can't allow people to be dying for no just cause.
From Alo, in Idemili South local government area, Chibuzo Obidike, ABS News.
Anambra State Commissioner for Transport, Mrs. Patricia Igwebike, has stated the readiness of her ministry to ensure that revenue court is established in the state to help fast-track the prosecution of revenue offenders. Mrs. Igwebike, who made this known in Oka, said that the establishment of the court will help in the fight against illegal revenue collection in the state. Correspondent Amaka Chibuzo-Koye filed a report.
Community leaders and stakeholders to support the government in nabbing revenue offenders, including impersonators of government revenue enforcement teams, asking members of the public to disregard any enforcement team that asks them to make payment by cash. The Transport Commissioner also expressed worry over indiscriminate parkings along the roads, calling on Anambra to assist government in the agenda of the present administration to sanitize the state.
We have town halls, we have e-ways, we have and all those kinds of people. The reason why we're saying this is that people will understand that when you are arrested, you won't come calling on Mr. Governor or people that you think that are stakeholders in society to help you out. Because if you're arrested, you're going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent.
On his part, the special advisor to Governor Chukwuma Soludo on security, Air Vice Marshal Ben Chiobi, noted they have a lot to do in achieving the agenda of the Professor Chukwuma Soludo administration, which security is a top priority, pointing out that ANJET has numbers placed on their jackets and asked members of the public to report any officer found culpable in official misconduct or embezzlement.
So most of the things you find us doing are things that ought to have been done. I'll give you an example. Someone has 20 properties in Onitsha and is not paying a family. And when there's an effort to get him to pay, they quickly run to the press and tell you how they have sent security people to harass them and all that. But simply there's a process which often we find ARS follow. They send out demand notices. But our people don't obey such things. Giving an impression that sometimes it looks like they need to be bullied for them to get to do the proper thing.
Still to come in the news tonight, JAMB to close the 2023 direct entry registration on May 30th. UN Chief Guterres calls for protection of civilians fleeing war. Here's a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. The news returns after the break.
A peak protein breakfast gets me to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes through his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. Because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a Peak Protein breakfast. Peak.
Welcome back to the rest of the news. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced that the sale of its 2023 direct entry DEE PIN sales will close on Saturday, May 26, 2023, while registration will close on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. The JAMB, in a statement by its spokesperson, Mr. Dr. Fabian Benjamin, urged all genuine aspiring direct entry candidates who are yet to register for the exercise to do so, as the board will not entertain any further extension. The statement recalled that the 2023 direct entry registration, which commenced in February 2023, was extended for all desiring candidates to register and was at a point suspended to facilitate the incorporation of certain safeguards designed to enhance the sanctity of the exercise. Benjamin said the 2023 direct entry registration is unique among many others, as it comes with some features meant to enhance the board's capacity to permanently address those loopholes hitherto being exploited by some vested interests. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is calling on parties involved in armed conflict across the world to prioritize the protection of civilians, noting that over 100 million people were classified as refugees in 2022. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres told member states it was falling short of its commitments. He said 94% of the victims in populated areas were civilians. Speaking during a debate on civilian protection at the United Nations Security Council on Tuesday, Mr. Guterres, in 2022, more than 100 million people across the globe were classified as refugees and have been forced from their homes mainly due to conflict, violence, human rights violations, or persecution. According to the UN chief, the terrible truth is that the world is failing to live up to its commitments to protect civilians, commitments enshrined in international humanitarian law. Nigeria's second best ranked female player, Ofyong Edem, has lamented her early exit at an ongoing Durban 2023 World Table Tennis Championship (WTTC), even as she rallied support for the remaining African stars still in the race in South Africa. Edem was beaten 4-1 by Hong Kong's Zhu Shenzhou in the first round of the women's singles and was also bundled out in the women's doubles by their French counterparts. She, however, admitted that she would continue to work harder to get back to her form. Before we go tonight, remember that you can follow news and program on ABS TV from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS and Anambra Broadcasting Service. Go on to subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Television Oka. You can also join us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV and also on Twitter. Log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the main points that made the news again tonight. Chief Obi Okoye has emerged new Anambra State Chairman of APGA. Wife of Anambra Governor Mrs. Soludo has highlighted role strategic education can play in promoting healthy living in women. JAMB is to close the 2023 direct entry registration on May 30th. And finally, we told you that UN Chief Guterres has called for protection of civilians fleeing war. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. That's all on the news tonight. My name is Uchechukwu Ibanam. Good night.